Buon pomeriggio, miei studenti. Okay, Italian today. That's good afternoon, my students. Good afternoon. Buon pomeriggio. So that's your lesson for the day. Today we're going to be working on our Pyramid Torte. Last week we put together our white chocolate whipping ganache. We have our Swiss buttercream. And so I am going to show you how we're going to re-whip this for our cake that we'll be putting together in class. So I pulled these out. We froze these last week. So I pulled this out and we'll put it in the refrigerator, of course, to let it thaw. And so now it's going to be cold and it's going to be a little chunky, and I'll show you this in chunks. You can see that. Yep. Actually, I'll get a little closer. So we're going to do about half of this into our bowl, and I think that'll be best. The other half, what we'll do is maybe we'll make another type of cake, or we'll do some cupcakes, or might do something with it. And if we don't have time, then I'll send the icing home with you later on in the semester. But notice I'm only putting pieces in because our cakes are going to be not very, probably maybe 8 inches wide is all it's going to be, with 6 layers. I will also show you that, of course. So we'll have your icing ready to go. We'll put this aside for right now. And we're going to break this up just a little into smaller pieces. Because what we have to do, we have a torch here. And so what we'll have to do is actually warm the bottom of the bowl slightly, so that way it comes together. It just warms the icing, and it'll coagulate. It'll come right back together. So we'll make sure that it's just in smaller pieces right now, so that way you can see it all come together. So we have our buttercream here. Has our vanilla bean in it. It's really good. If we need a little bit more vanilla, we can taste it, and if it needs a touch more vanilla, we'll add that when we're whipping at this point. So make sure you snap in your bowl. We have our whisk attachment, and we're going to start this on a small speed. We move the mixer in a little bit. We'll start this on a smaller speed so it can break up. We don't want to break the whisk. We want to be careful. But at this point, I'm going to turn on our torch here, and we're going to actually warm the side of the bowl. We want to catch the paper on fire. So as you can see, I'm just barely warming the bottom of the bowl, and I'm moving it. If you leave it in one spot, what will happen is that you'll start to burn the icing. It'll smell like marshmallows because it's like a meringue, but we don't want to do that. We just want to warm it. You'll see it start to pull away from the sides of the bowl. I will show you. You saw the before, and then you'll see the after. You saw it when you did your icing. You saw how it all came together, and it was nice and light and fluffy. So this is going to be exactly the same way. It's going to turn right into the same type of icing. It'll refreshen right up. So I'm going to turn that off for now. I'm going to turn the heat up on this now, not the heat. Turning up the speed on this, because we don't want it to melt. You don't want this to melt. You just want it to warm the icing a bit, and then it'll come all together. Okay. So I have it on speed 8 is actually where I have it that high. So then that way, anything that's stuck on the whisk itself, it'll come off. And if we have to take it off, we can do the same thing. So again, I'm going to show you quickly. So you saw it in big chunks, and so I'm going to show you a close-up. Now remember, this is what it looked like. Let me see if you can see it. Yeah. So you can see it looks broken, right? Okay. So let's give it. We're going to give it a little bit more time, of course. And I'm going to clean the whisk a little bit. Make sure it's all off there. All the pieces are off of there. And let it go about 3 or 4 minutes, and you'll be able to see how nice your icing will be for your Swiss buttercream icing will be for our Pyramid Torte. So the Pyramid Torte is 6 layers, very thin cake. I'll show that to you as well as our white chocolate whipping ganache. In the white chocolate ganache, I'm going to put a little bit of triple sec, which is an orange liqueur, and I'll explain that in a minute, with it as well. Orange liqueur actually flavors the white chocolate. It brings out more of the white chocolate flavor, and so it's very good. This cake does not taste really sweet. It's very, very, it's very smooth, delicate and light in flavor. So it's not one of those rich, very, very deep sweet icings or cakes that you can only eat a little bit and then you get tired of it. This is very good cake. You're going to enjoy this very, very much. Okay, so I'm going to give this just about a minute longer. I can feel the bottom of the bowl. It's cold, but it's okay. Like I said, we have a really nice, I don't want to warm it any longer, because if I do, I'm afraid that it'll break. If you warm this way too much, then what will happen is that it'll be more like a sauce. And then you have to wait for it to completely cool off in order for it to get to the same stage that we have when we first mixed it. So we don't want that to happen. We want to make sure it's exactly how it should be when we first made it. It looks nice. So I am going to show you. This is exactly, you saw how it looked, so now, there you go. So we have our icing ready to go. It's nice and light. So I'm going to, I'll see about, we're going to add probably maybe a touch of color to this, but I'll see. Let me get we'll go to the next video, and then I'll show you if I decide to color this with a bit of yellow, a butter yellow. Just to make a contrast in the cake and make it more appetizing, I will get some coloring. But that's your icing that we'll be doing. So this shows you just how you have to re-whip your icing in class to be ready to ice your torte. Okay, I will be back in a few with the next video to show you how to do our white chocolate whipping ganache. Okay, be back in a minute.